Okay, I have a question. This morning I chatted with this um one of the Bulgarian guy in my hometown,
Hmm.
and he has a problems with the tachycardia, mitral prolapse, and rapid pulse.
Oh,
So yeah, he's asking which patches is recommended for support heart health and some of the um, experience, or if we have testimonials and stuff like that. He's patching himself with X39 only.
okay.
So he wants to hear more. I can tell him what you're gonna say.
Okay. So hopefully he is under medical care if he has those
Yeah,
kind of heart conditions. Okay, good.
yeah,
Because the patches, we can't make, any claim
yeah.
that they're going to cure anything. So X49 is a fantastic patch as well, too, for the cardiovascular system,
Hmm.
as well as the Eon patch.
Yeah.
So Eon's going to help that nervous system regulation to help hopefully with the tachycardia. But also using the X49 because we can see cardiovascular benefits from those in our clinical studies. So 3949 combo, add that Eon. And the other patch that you could add down the road a little bit would be carnosine. Carnosine also helps support the cardiovascular system. So that has other heart benefits.
Okay, I write it down.
Okay. Christina said, recently I've been following some American LifeWave groups, and I often see different patching protocols being shared for specific conditions or diagnosis. The placement of the patches varies depending on the issues. Is this approach correct? Should people follow such customized protocols, or is it best to stick with standard placement instructions provided by LifeWave? I ask because people often see these posts and start wondering if they need a special protocol. So let's go back and say this. Years ago, before X39, LifeWave just had the other supportive patches, right? As David would invent them. And we had a lot of practitioners, a lot of holistic people, a lot of acupuncturists, people that were very hands-on in their office type settings, mostly in Europe, honestly. And so they had lots of protocols they created and came up with. LifeWave's always had their instruction booklets based on the clinical studies, suggested locations, knowing that when we elevate peptides, it's happening systemically throughout the entire body. Our technology isn't transdermal, meaning I don't put the patch on a certain area and it makes something happen in that area. Okay, so I can't patch here and elevate my stem cells in this spot and make my stem cells go right here. They're going to be elevated systemically and they will go where they want. I can't direct them based on patch placement. Now, with IceWave, of course, you put it on location. That's the only way it works. A lot of times with Eon, as you may have heard David mention this weekend, put it on the location. People do experience some pain reduction from the reduction of inflammation at that location. So, that works a lot of times as well too. Not always, but a lot of times. So when you get into protocols, there are certain people that are very much into this placement for with all of these patches for this disease or this condition, which technically is against compliance because we can never make any claims that any patches in any location or any patches period are going to treat or cure any disease. So what's happened over the years since the release of X39, some people have stayed with these protocols and then of course they've added and whatnot. It gets confusing for people, honestly. They feel like they have to put the patch in this exact location or it's not going to work, and they have to have all of these different combinations in order for and in these certain spots in order to get rid of their disease or their condition, which we know that's not the way the technology is designed or works. It works by your body deciding what to do with the elevation of those peptides and the process that happens inside of the body. So we can't control that. I will say this. Our acupuncturists love the patches because they work with the meridians and they know that the meridians are connected to different systems and organs in the body. We don't know that, right? We're not acupuncturists. We don't study that. We I don't want to. And so there's a lot of, obviously, there's a very small percentage of people that are acupuncturists that are using the technology. There's a massive percentage of people that are just applying it based on the instruction booklets that come with the patch. And the key is not that you have to get it on this exact location or it won't work. The key is just to get it on the body and leave it on 12 hours. Stay hydrated, do all the things you can do to support a healthy diet and lifestyle, and stay consistent with your patching. We always start with the X39, of course, because it is the one that activates stem cells, but we add that Eon right after that as well because of the fact that it helps reduce the inflammation in the body. That's the foundation right there. Like, if you have a disease process in the body, you have gotten out of balance. Your toxic level is through the roof. Your nutrient level is bottomed out. You're deficient in different nutrients. Your body has gotten out of balance. Most likely that's what's happened. And over years, you've developed things like cardiovascular disease or diabetes, or you've developed, different types of autoimmune issues because you didn't wake up one day and just have that. You don't get to wake up one day, throw on a patch, and it go away. So those years of time that it took before you experienced the symptoms, you're going to have to stay patient and consistent with the patching, and not necessarily years and years and years, but months and months and months are going to go by as your body starts to reorganize and utilize these new, right, woke up stem cells and be able to function better because there's not so much inflammation. And yeah, you can add patches as you go, of course. We know the benefits of glutathione, everything, right? Boosting the immune system, keeping your body super healthy, detoxing. That's very, very important. But I can't place glutathione on, say, for example, my liver directly and tell it to shoot all the glutathione there to get rid of the toxins in my liver. I have to be patient with the body's process in doing that. So I'm not a protocol person. I have a book when I first started that was written by an acupuncturist that had all these protocols. And what I found from people is they were confused and they were frustrated because there were so many patches in so many locations and they didn't feel like they got them in the right spots because their diseases weren't going away in 2.5 seconds. And so that quickly made me realize this isn't working for people. David has the instruction booklets. And yes, we can do what we want to do, of course, but I find that people have massive success when they understand up front that I'm going to have to be patient with the process of my body getting back into balance because it's gotten out of balance and I have to take responsibility for that. And I have to work on my things like my diet and my lifestyle choices, my sleep, my water, things like that on a daily basis. So just be careful with the protocols because people will feel like they have to have that. And then when they don't get those results in 2 seconds from the protocol, then they're frustrated because they want it to work. And again, you can't patch to make stem cells go to a certain area. Your body is so smart, it knows what to do and it'll direct them. So Joan has a question. You direct us to these clinical trials or tests that you refer to. Yes. So I'll type a website in the chat. And well, they're in your back office, Joan. So you can log into your back office and you can click on resources and click on studies tab, and they're all right there. But if you want to have something that you can send to other people because they can't log into your back office, you don't want them to, you can go to startx39now.com. When you click on that, then you have the ability then to have access to all of the clinical studies. They're on that website. You just gotta search a little bit for them. They're in there. They're under the clinical studies tab, but you can find them real quick in your back office under resources. Great question.
I have another question.
Okay, go ahead.
So, how would you explain the concept of phototherapy and peptides to someone who doesn't believe in natural healing?
Okay, so I just drank my cellar dries and spilled some on me. So we all have peptides in our body. You have thousands and thousands and thousands of them. They do lots of different things. So this technology, this X39, elevates one peptide. And it does that with a wavelength of light. So phototherapy or light therapy is it's been around since the beginning of the earth, right? The planet, the universe, the sun. People have used light to heal for years and years and years. So I don't need the sun or a sauna or a laser or any type of red light therapy device. My body emits heat or light. And so when I put this patch on, my body's light or heat interacts with the patch, and a wavelength of light enters my body and elevates the peptide. The peptide is GHKCU copper peptide. On that website, the startx39now.com, you will find our patent that states when this patch is applied to the body, nothing is entering except a wavelength of light. And that wavelength of light is proven to elevate GHK in the blood and activate stem cells. So peptides they're just chains of proteins, amino acids. They're the building blocks of your body. It's biology. So if they're not into holistic wellness tools, that's fine, but this is just biology. That's all this really is. It's my body has these peptides. They decline as I age. My stem cells decline as I age. So you have option one, inject them into your body with a needle on a daily basis. Most people don't want to do that. It's costly and invasive. Or I can put a patch on that uses my body's own light or heat, and that wavelength of light that enters my body is going to elevate the peptides for me. That's light therapy.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay, so he's listening, but he's say to ask, okay, so Dr. Stacey, what LifeWave patches do you recommend it for someone recovering after a stroke, especially to support the brain, coordination, overall recovery? We have a friend actually, he visited him yesterday and he's just, want to ask about him, what he can use.
How old is he?
He's around 60, something
Yeah.
like this. Yeah, 60 something. No more than, no, yeah, no more. It's not 70, but 60, between 60, 65. 65, yeah, he
Okay.
says.
So, of course, X39 and 100%, definitely Eon to help with the inflammation in that brain. And then your other two patches for the brain are the same as the heart. That's your
Yeah,
X49 and your carnosine. I wouldn't start him on all four on day one. I would start with the X39 Eon. I'd give him 30 days on those, make sure he can drink the water so he's hydrated. If he will, I would get him on the Celergize as well too. If he's here in the US, that's really going to help.
yes, he's living here.
Yep, I would do the X39 Eon and the Celergize right away. And then after 30 days, I would incorporate the X49 and the carnosine as well too.
Perfect.
Mhm.
Thank you. About the Energizer, I watched this Zoom with Dr. Harmon.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's very educational because of the heart. Can you
Mm.
tell us more about this? Especially the ingredients inside a Stellarchizer is just amazing. So many people asking about the heart. Like
Yep. Yep. So
last two questions is about the heart.
yeah, we only have one heart, and that's the number one killer
Yeah,
heart disease. So Celergize has a blend of amino acids and electrolytes. And amino acids, the building blocks of your body, right? We need those. And so this blend specifically are what we call precursors to the peptides that the patches will elevate. When we look at heart health, all of those nutrients benefit the heart in different ways, as Dr. Harmon went over with each one individually. And I can share the link with you if you have people that want to, learn a little bit more. I don't want to go into every single one of them again, but basically everything about the heart, Celergize is going to support the correct function of the heart in conjunction with the patches. The big thing is understanding that, like I said earlier, most people are very toxic from their environment, their food, their water, their stress, and they're very nutrient deficient. And so this blend of electrolytes and amino acids gives your body that kind of baseline nutrients It's not a complex vitamin mineral, but it gives you those baseline nutrients that you need to support all over health. But when we look at especially like nitric oxide function, you have to have nitric oxide, and that declines as we age. And so, keeping that up, elevated as it should be, that keeps your heart healthy, keeps your blood flowing through your veins instead of getting thick and stuck and clogged and all the things that start to happen with the heart attacks and the blockages and the strokes and whatnot like that. So, yes, Celergize here in Europe would be fantastic. I know David is working on that right now. So, he
Yeah, that was
is.
my next question. Do you
Yeah.
know some about Europe? Because
I don't have a date yet. When we were in Switzerland last month, he said they're working on formulations because they are different for the US than they
Mhm.
are for any other region. Trust me, everyone wants it. So I know he said we're working on formulations right now. We have to get approval to come into the countries with the formulations based on their guidelines because things in the US are different.
Biljana has a question about sleep apnea.
hmm so with sleep apnea, I'm sure that person's been to the doctor. I'm sure they've probably determined where that or cause of the sleep apnea is coming from. Do they need to lose weight? Is there something going on inside of their body structurally? I mean, we can't fix if there's a structural problem inside of the body there. That would have to get some type of correction for that, right? Medically. So it really depends on the source of the sleep apnea. But patches to support sleep would be your X39 daytime, your Eon, your Silent Nights, and Alavita. Those are the patches that support a deep sleep and a longer duration of sleep based on our clinical studies.
Okay, come on, guys. Questions?
Mhm.
Um, so in that start 39 now, start X39 now, we can find there the clinical studies. We can find information how the X39s work and stuff only for X39, right?
No, here, I'll show you real quick. We'll screen share. Okay, so this is startx39now.com, just
Mm-hmm.
the basic main page of it. Video, and then you click here to learn more. Click. And then when you get to this, it wants the password, which is light. Not now. Okay. And so here's all your info. Okay. So when you go down through here, there's videos, all of our information about GHK. So if they want to learn more
Yeah.
about that, how to wear the patch, lots of before and after pictures, testimonials, info on David. Here's our patent that I was referencing earlier. We elevate copper peptide, activate stem cells. So you don't get a patent on something unless it's actually doing what you say it does.
Yeah.
So the US doesn't just issue a patent because you've got something that looks cool or you think works great. It's impressive that he holds over 200 patents. I mean, that's like Tesla, Einstein, Edison type person. More videos. This is our patching podcast, gives you options to plug in. Here's more information into the entire product line. You can, again, summary sheets, shows you the placements based on the instruction booklets, that kind of stuff. And then when you go down here, or what to expect, but right here, see where it says the science community, clinical studies. So if I click on clinical studies, it's going to show me this. It breaks them down per category. So per patch. So all of these, I can click like this is a double-blind placebo-controlled study of the X39 as it relates to strength endurance and high performance college athletes. Here's a double-blind study based on GHK. So when I click on this, and it's going to take me to the actual study. So this is from Research Open article, gives you all the information, your abstract, but you can come down here to the conclusion. Study showed significant increase in GHK concentration in the blood as a result of wearing the X39 patch for 1 week in individuals 40 to 80, blah, blah, blah. So, and we don't want to let other people in because we don't know who they are. way late if they are. So, anyway, the studies are going to show you all whatever they do, right? Metabolic implications on X39. There's another double blind, changes in GHK in the blood. And you can see each patch is going to have a list of studies. So, and they're all different. They've been done over years. So it's not like they're, you know, from this year. They've all been done over a long period of time. So lots and lots and lots and lots. Like look at all these on Energy Enhancer. Tons. That was the first patch that David invented. So you can see here improvement in strength, endurance, performance in college athletes. If I click on it again, it's going to tell me what they were looking for in here. Metabolism, ATP production. I can go all the way down looking for my conclusion. You can see lots of scientific information. And then there's your conclusion. So based on this, results obtained. It's a method to improve athletic performance, means of individual increased strength and stamina. 25 college athletes from Troy State University, blah, blah, blah. So it's a great website to be able to give you a lot of great information, videos. This is where you can hear from other doctors that have done some Zooms and shared information on this technology. This lady here is Dr. Pamela is an acupuncturist. He's a cardiologist. She's a medical doctor. Dr. Harmon, you just heard last week, he's a chiropractor. Dr. Don is a medical doctor. This lady's an esthetician, so not technically a doctor, but lots and lots of info on this website for you to be able to plug into, and even for horses. So even our
Very
pets can
helpful.
patch.
Yes. Um, so I have a text message here from the go. What have personally seen as the most surprising or unexpected results from using X39?
Hmm.
Something maybe she meant something that you say, wow, maybe.
I mean, I wouldn't say that it's just X39 per se, but just in general with the patches. I mean, we see people all the time come off their medications, which is just mind blowing. Number one, how many
That's
medications people are
happened to
on.
me.
But I
Yeah.
think the biggest thing that I see on a consistent basis is them being able to wean down and come off of their meds. And we know that medications decrease your lifespan. I mean,
Yeah.
they're supposed to be increasing your quality of life, but they're actually, when you look at long-term medication use, the organ function declines significantly versus people that are not on medications, heart, kidneys, liver, lungs, brain, of course. So watching people come off medicines is probably the most profound thing because that means that their quality of life is going to improve and their lifespan is going to improve as well too.
And a
And
blood
I,
pressure, right?
And a what?
Blood pressure,
Oh yeah, blood
especially.
pressure.
Yeah.
That's yeah. A lot of people are on blood pressure medication. A lot of people are on statins, which are black box medicines. They should not be prescribed at all. So they're not improving the quality of your heart. They're just making that number look pretty on a blood test. So watching people come off of those medicines is really rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
can I share something
Yeah.
about Stoney's question? Something really um, amazing that really shocked me about the results that we received. It's about my husband's healing. So he had a dental abscess with significant bone loss, and he didn't do anything for probably a year. And last month he went for a cleaning. He was like, you know what, let's do something about the tooth. So they took a new x-ray, and last week we went to the dentist, and I saw the x-ray, and I can see on the x-ray that there's no the infection is smaller, and you we can see the bone loss that is developing where the infection was. So I was a little bit impressed, and I was thinking maybe this is the wrong tooth. What's happening? So I asked the dentist, can I see older picture just so I can compare it? Because to me that looked, impossible. All right. So she showed me the picture. I took pictures before a couple years, and then the one from June. And even the doctor, she was like, "Oh, maybe it's the angle." And I'm like, I don't know if this is just the angle, because I mean, he also, I mean, my husband mentioned something that the tooth is not moving around. He doesn't have any problems. It's just perfectly fine. So that's something that amazed me, because usually if you have an abscess, if you have bone loss, you have to have a treatment done, you have to have extraction, you have to have a root canal, I mean retreatment in his case. So this is something that it's impossible. Even with antibiotics, if you want to take antibiotics, the infection is not going to go away in the tooth. So to me, this is something that it's incredible. And he is using LifeWave patches for 7 months every day. X39, Eon, Carnosine, I mean, everything. He tried everything, but every day it's X39 and Eon. So um, this is something very, uh,
Yeah.
different. I mean, I was impressed.
Yeah, I saw those pictures last week. That is very impressive. Absolutely. Very, very. And that's what I mean. It's incredible what the body does on the inside. He didn't patch his tooth. He's not sticking the patch inside of his mouth to wrap that tooth up. The body just went to work where it needed to help support and heal that area. So I bet he's
Yes.
super happy.
Oh yeah, he was so happy. I mean, we started because of his lower back pain, and I guess the tooth needed more help than the lower back pain. And now
Mhm.
he's feeling great with his back pain, with his energy, with his tooth. I mean, everything is just way better than 7 months ago.
Good. Well, tell him congratulations.
I will. I will. Thank you.
You're
Uh,
welcome.
I have one more question. When we were in Orlando last week, I mean, passing weekend, I see a lot of people wearing the patch here.
Mm.
Like I put my Aeon here. So m most of them were here, especially people, they're wearing the patch here. Is that an Aeon? Because I read about the Aeon and glutathione.
Hmm. So they put the patch over here so people can see it.
Oh, okay.
It's no different than me putting it right here. Who knows what patch they're putting there? It's not like a specific patch. It's not a location in the instruction booklet. It's just so people can see it.
Okay, because I asked two of them, they say Aeon. That's
Hmm.
what I'm considering. Yeah.
Yeah. Any patch you want. Gary, because Gary has on a t-shirt all the time. Superman, it's up to here. And he'll have one on his hand too, and one up here. He always puts them where people can see them.
Yeah, some patches, the instructions, especially I love you that you can put it here, or behind the ear or something.
Mhm.
But during the day, Silent Night is not the patch that you have to put it on. So
No,
I
no.
was wondering which one is this, but it's they say both of them say AM.
Hmm. Yep.
Mhm.
Or any patch you want to stick there.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Does anybody else have any other questions today?
They knows everything.
That's good. All
Yeah.
right. Well, I'll stop our